there, my name is Sarah Caldwell, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make black-eyed pea burgers. Black-eyed peas are kind of similar to black beans. They actually are a bean. They look like this, pretty small, and you might have heard people typically eat them on New Year's Day because they are supposedly bring good luck for the year. But today we're going to turn them into a delicious burger packed with lots of delicious vegetables. So I'm going to show you everything that you need to make this. So here I've got all of my ingredients prepped. It's called mise en place. I've got my whisked egg, my minced garlic, my diced onion, and it's diced pretty small. Next I've got my diced mushroom, and then I've got my quinoa, which has already been cooked and cooled slightly, my kale that has been chopped up pretty small, and then I've got my 2 cans of black-eyed peas that have been drained and rinsed. So today I'm using a non-stick skillet, and I have it set over medium heat, and I've already put my oil in the pan, and you know when it's ready when you can stick your hand over it and you can feel the heat a couple inches over the surface of the pan. So I'm going to start by adding in my diced onion, and then after I cook that down for a minute or so, I'm going to add in the garlic and then cook those two together until they're really nice and fragrant. So while our vegetable mixture is over on the stove cooking, I'm going to show you guys how I cut my kale, just in case you've never done it before. It can be a little bit tricky, so yeah, I'm going to show you. So moving down to my tabletop, so this is the stalk of kale that I bought, or one of the bunch, and you can see it's got this really long sort of backbone on the stem, and this is really tough and fibrous and not very pleasant to eat. So what I've done is I'm going to place it face down on my cutting board, and I'm going to take my chef's knife and I'm going to cut along the side of this backbone. So we're just going to slide the knife right along it until we get up top. And now we've cut one side, and down here you can just sort of pick these pieces off by hand. And then I'm going to flip it over and do the same thing to cut the other side of it off. And now you've got the stem that you're not going to eat. You can toss that, and then the rest of your kale is now ready to be cut and washed. Alright, so my onions and my garlic have been cooking and sauteing over the medium heat for a little bit. They are smelling great and they're starting to turn translucent, so that's when you know you can add in your mushrooms. That's what I'm going to go ahead and do. And then we're going to saute the mushrooms in with the onions and garlic for another few minutes until that starts to look soft. My mushrooms are now looking nice and soft, so I'm going to go ahead and add my kale in, and I'm going to cook this down until the kale is beginning to wilt and there's not much liquid in the bottom of the pan. So the main base of our black-eyed pea burgers is going to be our black-eyed peas. Here I've got my 2 cans of drained and rinsed black-eyed peas, and I'm just going to use a potato masher to mash them up. And I'm not going to mash them completely. I'm going to leave a few beans that are sort of partially whole or whole to add some extra texture. And if you don't have a potato masher, you can use a fork and just mash it against the side of your bowl like this. So I'm just going to continue mashing my beans until they're at my desired consistency, and then I'm going to add my quinoa and my whisked egg. So now that our base is ready, I'm going to add in our sauteed vegetables, which I've just finished cooking, and then I'm also going to add just a little bit of salt and pepper to taste, but you can't really taste it because it has raw eggs, so I'm going to be adding probably about a 1/4 teaspoon of each. Alright, so you can see that my kale has started to wilt here, but it still has its vibrant green color, which means we haven't overcooked it, and that's exactly what we want. You can also see that there's not much liquid in the bottom of my pan, which is great. And so now we know that our sauteed vegetables are ready to be added to the rest of our black-eyed pea burger base. At this point, when you add in the salt and pepper, you could also add any other spices that you wanted, especially if you like your food spicy. Now that our burger mixture is all ready to go, I'm going to be using this 4-ounce scoop to portion out my burgers. But if you don't have one of these, you can just eyeball it, or you can use a half cup measurement if you would like. This is going to make 8 burgers, so I'm going to show you how to form them. So grab 1 scoop of your burger mixture and make sure your hands are washed before you do this. Pop it out into your hand. And then we're going to form it into little patties, just like, so almost like a pancake. They should be about 3 inches across and decently thin. And you can sort of see throughout how I have a couple of whole beans here and there, and then mostly all mashed. And then I'm going to set that down on my cutting board and repeat until I'm out of mixture. Alright, so I have wiped down my pan and added another 1 to 2 tablespoons of oil, and again I have it heating over medium heat. And I'm going to use a spatula to help me place the burgers down into the pan. My pan can hold 2 to 3 burgers, but obviously put however many into your pan as can fit. And we're going to cook these for about 3 to 4 minutes on each side until they're nice and golden brown. So these guys have been cooking for 3 to 4 minutes, and I'm going to go ahead and give them a gentle flip. You definitely want to be careful and gentle so that you don't break the burgers apart, but if you do have little bits that come off, it's not that big of a deal. And then I'm going to continue to cook these for another 3 to 4 minutes on this side so that they can finish cooking. Okay, so these guys have finished cooking. They're nice and golden, so I'm going to go ahead and scoop them out of the pan and place them on a plate. So I'm going to go ahead and finish cooking the rest of these burgers, and then we'll put one together and taste it. Alright, so I've just finished cooking all of my black-eyed pea burgers, and I'm going to put one together for you guys so you can see what it looks like, and then I'm going to taste it so I can let you guys know how it is. So I just decided to pair mine with a sesame seed bun because that's my favorite, and then I also have a bed of lettuce, and I've put a little bit of honey mustard on the bun because that's one of my favorite condiments. But you can add whatever your favorite toppings and condiments are on the burger. Whatever you like, maybe hot sauce or ketchup or whatever you want. So this was really good. It had a lot of flavor, a lot of textures. I loved the crunch of the lettuce and the sweetness that the honey mustard added. And it was just overall a really great burger. So I hope you guys enjoy it, and thank you for cooking along with me today.